Hey everyone, thank you for joining me on another Brooklyn Baritone podcast on Brooklyn Baritone Productions. Again, it's always a beautiful day when we can wake up and we can be productive and be thankful. But you know what? Whatever day and time of day you choose to join me, morning, afternoon, late night, evening, afternoon, it doesn't matter. I appreciate the likes, the looks, the listens, and of course, I appreciate you subscribing and hitting that like button on my YouTube channel, Brooklyn Baritone. But I always say, do that with no pressure whatsoever. It's all good. If you're here looking, I appreciate that very much. Now, I'm going to let you guys know like a personal thing about me. I can legitimately enjoy a powerful engine in a vehicle, more so a muscle car. You know, in old school ones, the Mustangs, Camaros, those Challengers, all those things. I personally don't like going super fast myself, but I still enjoy that sound, that rumbling. You feel it when you hit the accelerator. Now, Cadillac, they just dropped the Escalade V. This Escalade has more than enough horsepower for that highly sought after powerful engine that most people like. They like the sound. They like the fast, the speed, whatever. Aside from a powerful engine that can make lots of noise going up and down the place, it's just ignorant how loud it is, but it also comes loaded with a whole lot of new tech. As most newer vehicles have been coming loaded with tech. As a matter of fact, a lot of these vehicles are now replacing analog dials and meters with the actual screen now. Everything is this LCD screen. LCD, LED screens, they're great. I don't feel that that should be a replacement component or components in a vehicle, because the more computerized things become, the more expensive, the more troublesome they can become when they don't work properly. But see, thing about new technology, it's usually being used or has been used to pull us in with more attractive features. It has, uses and usages, of course. From what we've been seeing, the ulterior motive is to further expand profits and more restrictive controls over people. For instance, the new Escalade I just mentioned a little while ago. It's gonna entice you to speed. You're gonna buy this machine, whoever does, and they're gonna speed. They're gonna push that engine. Of course, you're going to, for the noise, for the power, just for the sake that you could just go. See, now one will take opportunity to do this. All that new tech that's inside these vehicles, it's collecting data on you. And it's not just collecting data to see this is your regular route that you like to drive. You usually like to stop over here at Krispy Kreme at 4 o'clock every afternoon after work. It's a lot more than that. It actually collects data on your driving habits and your personal habits. For some people who may not realize this is a thing. This is actually a thing that's going on. There's a woman on a video on YouTube. She found out by pulling a report from LexisNexis that her driving data was being sold to insurance companies and other entities. So one of the things that caused her insurance company to just raise her rates without her even knowing, she had to pull that data herself. So they pulled the data, farmed the data, used that data to figure out, oh, we're gonna raise her rates because based on her driving habits, she speeds a lot. She has a lot of hard braking incidents or whatever. Now, one will always usually say, well, then drive properly, drive within the speed limit, and these things don't happen. The thing about that is, with all this new tech in the dashboard, with cameras, with dash cams built in, it also has in-cabin cameras. So that means there are cameras pointing at you. So it's going to not just figure out if you speed, when you speed, if you're always braking hard, if you're tailgating behind people. It's always going to look if you may be distracted. What's going to be considered? Now, what's going to be considered distracted driving is going to be up to the entities that are pooling this data. One could easily say, well, you took your eyes off the road at least 4 times within the past 2 minutes of you driving. We could label you as a liability, and then we use that data that many people don't know is being pulled on them to say we're going to raise your rates, or we're going to drop you altogether. So now you can't even drive legally. And this is not only one woman who's come across this. There's other people. Over the past year, it's been increasingly more apparent. It happens with a lot of people. So if whatever we may be seeing that's put online for people going through these instances with their data being used against them, for every one, there's probably at least another 10, 20. But see, the thing is, your data is being sold and has been stolen. Just about everyone's data has been stolen. Some way, shape, or form, it's out there for whatever entities, for whatever reasons and purposes, full access for them. So as I said earlier, a lot of This new tech ulterior motive is to expand profits, bring money up, and have more restrictive control over you. When we talk about our habits being recorded, well, our personal habits can easily now, not just for driving now medical insurance companies can now pull that data. Now, the thing is not just in these vehicles, it's always been recorded freely in these smartphones, smart devices, cameras propped up all over the place where they're looking to utilize things, not just your face recognition, but the way you walk, your gait, how fast you move, not just your fingerprints or your eye. They're looking at everything to store a biometric database. Basically, you're going to get to a point where you're going to have to buy in to their club. This part is when you know when people are being consistently exploited and oppressed, as opposed to using these tools, technology, to improve people's life and uplift. You're now in a situation, got to get down or you got to lay down. When a society's long forgotten, Yahuwah, when money, status, and control is everything, this is what you start to come up with. It's always going to be profits over people. It's always going to be some sort of control these people are looking for. And it's not in the near future these things are happening. It's happening now. You see, with Yahusha being the way to Yahuwah Almighty, he demonstrated that what the Father has to offer. He gives it freely. He wants to give us life. He wants to give us love. He wants us to have many good things according to his will in abundance because he is life. The thing is, he's not going to try to control you. It's all free will. A lot of people figure like, oh, if I don't follow God, then I'm going to hell. Well, that doesn't sound like a loving God. Well, he's giving you a choice. The thing is, he gives you free will. The same way how he'll give us free will to eventually get knowledge, get experience, go through the process, and then we will eventually come to him. It's not through force. It's not through coercion. It's not through oppression. He's given us time to use our free will, to come to him freely, because when we come to him freely, that means we have an understanding of what he's about. We have an understanding of what he has to offer. Not getting forced to do anything, not getting tricked to do anything because we don't want to lose out on the nice things this life has to offer. One example I wanted to go over before I finish this production. In Marcos chapter 5:27, the woman who had a bleeding issue, she was always having an issue, a menstrual issue as it was described in the book and in different accounts. And she tried everything. Nothing worked. But then here comes Yahusha. It's the time when Yahusha was on earth. Having heard about Yahusha, she came behind him in the crowd and touched his garment. For she said, "If I only touch his garments, I shall be made well." And immediately the fountain of her blood was dried up, and she felt in her body that she was healed of the affliction. And immediately Yahusha, knowing in himself that power had gone out of him, turned around in the crowd and said, "Who touched my garments?" And his Talmudim, his disciples, said to him, "You see the crowd is thronging you, and you say, 'Who touched me?'" And he was looking around to see who did this. And the woman, fearing and trembling, knowing what was done to her, came and fell down before him and spoke to him all the truth. And he said, "Daughter, your belief has healed you. Go in peace and be relieved from your affliction." It's there for everybody. Yahusha's not there to be abused. Yah's not there to be abused, but it's there to heal everyone. Now, can you imagine if this woman was trying to go towards a leader, especially any modern leader now? Security detail would have tackled her. Most leaders wouldn't even give this woman the time of day. Probably just refer her to some hospital or something and go take care of it. I don't have time for you. The thing is, these people who are putting these things into production or executing these plans, they have no problem making sure that they're good and sacrificing the millions and billions. Meanwhile, Yahusha, he's willing to sacrifice himself to save the millions and billions. That's the difference right there. If you choose to go away from Yah, Yah is life. If you choose to go away from Yah, then you're choosing anti-life. That's going to be, and that's what's happening. You see it in front of you all the time. But he's not going to force you. He doesn't want you to be in his presence through force because that's not going to be love. Anyways, that's all I got for the day. If you want to check more of my content, please feel free to go to my website, brooklynbaritone.com. I have all types of content there. Plus, I got merch, kind of like what I got on now. You can also go to my YouTube channel, Brooklyn Baritone. I have other videos there for free to see. I'm also on LinkedIn. I'm on Facebook. I'm also on Instagram. You can find the audio versions of these podcasts on Google, Amazon, and Apple. I also air on local Brooklyn public television 4 times a week. on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 12 a.m. and 2 p.m. on Verizon, Optimum, RCN, and Spectrum. Thank you guys for listening and watching. I want you guys to always think the bigger picture, how everything ties into spiritual warfare, into Yah. But go forward. Hopefully you learn something new. I learn something new every day. Talk to you guys next time.